All right, so this lesson is on adverbs, and this goes along with our adjectives lesson, right? And these are our lessons on modifiers. All right, so we got a lot going on here, right? Adverbs are another big word class in terms of the number of words in the English language. There are a lot of them, but they can usually be classified in one of two ways. And the easiest way to find adverbs is these ly adverbs, these adverbs that end in ly that tell how a verb is done. For example, I swam poorly. Poorly modifies swam, right? She sings beautifully. Beautifully modifies sings. He passed the ball skillfully. Skillfully modifies passed, tells how he did it. The other ones are the journalistic adverbs, right? Because the journalism questions, right? Every good newspaper article answers who, what, when, where, why, and how, right? And so we've got journalism adverbs that answer who, what, when, where, why, and how the verb was done, right? So late is telling when the bus arrived. Here is telling where you're going to sit. Outside is telling him where there was sent. And occasionally tells when the makes happens, also on time. Okay, so we got two adverbs here. You'll notice that the syntax, and remember what syntax means. Syntax is the order of words in a language. Syntax with adverbs in English is very, very difficult. They show up all over the place. They're really little stinkers because they're never in the same place, right? Well, let's look at some examples here. So I exercise regularly, and let's break this down, right? We know I got a pronoun, I got a verb. Aha, here's one of those ly words, and it's telling when, in this case, when I exercise regularly. All right, here's a pronoun. I got two verbs, right? Do is the main verb. Actually, do is an auxiliary verb. These are both auxiliary verbs. Here's the main verb. Highly of, that's a preposition. Again, we're going to get to those. We know that the is an adjective, right? Oakland Raiders is a single noun. And so highly modifies think. So there's highly is an adverb. It tells how I think. In this case, I don't think highly of them, right? I is a pronoun. Hope is a verb. We know that the is an adjective. Yankees is a noun. Do is a verb. This is a demonstrative pronoun. Season is a noun. Here we go. That's an adverb, right? It's one of those LYs, and it modifies how I want them to do. Actually, I wish they would just do away with themselves. Maybe just disband the team completely, right? She is a pronoun, barely. Has is a verb. Enough, what's that doing there? Here's a noun. It's an adjective because it's modifying. Money. To pay is a verb in the infinitive form. Her is a possessive pronoun. Rent is a noun. What's barely? What's that doing? It's modifying has, so it's an adverb. That's one of those ly words, right? So you see the system and you see the strategy and the process, okay? And you got to be able to do this automatically. This may seem kind of boring, but this is going to help you with your reading. This is going to help you with your vocabulary, and this is going to help you with your writing. And you're not going to see that till later on in the course, but believe me, this is going to help you with your writing, so you've got to work through this and know it. Right, so let's go through some journalistic adverbs, right? I is a pronoun, will is a verb, come is a verb, over is a preposition. Maybe I should have taught those early. This tells when this is going to happen, when you will come. Preposition, should is a helping verb or an auxiliary verb, drive is a verb. Far, what do we got going on there? Far is a preposition, away is a preposition, and is a conjunction. Again, we haven't gotten to those yet. We will. Never, come, back. That's a preposition. I know that. What do we got going on? This is a verb. Got it. That's an adverb right there. And again, it tells when. Call me maybe, right, Carly? Yes, call me maybe. That's a verb. That's a pronoun. It's actually the direct object of call. Maybe. This tells how, when, or if it might be done. All right. I would call Carly Rae Jepsen. Preposition, we have an auxiliary verb. We have a verb right there. We have a preposition. What's this? This is when I will see you. So that's an adverb, right? Let's get really picky, right? Everybody loves to roll their eyes on this one. Everybody, this is what makes people hate English teachers, isn't it? Good versus well. English teachers and other picky grammarians love to nail people for the use of good versus well. And here's how you remember it. Good is an adjective. It can only modify nouns and pronouns, right? Well is an adverb. It modifies verbs, right? So Superman does good. He does good deeds, right? That's a noun. That's an adjective. You will do well on your next grammar quiz, right? That's an adverb because it's modifying do, okay? Syntax is important here too. Remember syntax, order of the words, okay? This may seem like a small thing, but people judge you on your intelligence based on whether or not you can use good and well properly. People judge how educated you are, which really stinks, right? I mean, you could be PhD in physics, absolutely brilliant. If you say, I did that project good, people aren't going to think you're very smart. Okay, so really pay attention to this one. Work hard on it in your writing first, and then over time it will find its way into your speech. These little things that we use to judge each other, and this is one of them. And it's not fair, and we're not supposed to judge each other, but we do. So learn this, and people will perceive you as being educated. Right? Remember, adverbs are very mobile, right? They move around. They move. Mobile means they move, right? Mobile phone, they move all over the place. They can be very difficult to identify by themselves. So like adjectives, you got to go through that sentence and identify all those nouns and verbs and pronouns and prepositions and conjunctions and adjectives. And then, very often what you're left over with is those adverbs. And then what you can do is kind of test. You say, does it end with ly? Or does it answer who, what, when, where, why, how, and if the verb is done or was done or will be done? Okay? And so you can kind of test for that. So there's a process, right? This is step 1, and then this is step 2. You can diagnose this stuff, and you can do this. It's hard. It takes time, and you really got to pay attention to detail, but you can do this, and this is how you can do this. Okay? So yeah, because these things can show up all over the place, right? Occasionally, right? I mean, this thing can go all over the place. Okay, so that's why you got to go through and diagnose those. And all these sentences are grammatically correct, even though, the first 2 are better than the last 2. They're all grammatically correct, and they all have correct syntax. It's just some syntax is better than others. And so that's it. Thanks for watching.